And welcome to another special edition of Strange Planets, where we bring you up to date on all of the great news regarding this wonderful product that I have been taking for years. A tablespoon every morning without fail keeps me energized, keeps me healthy. C60EVO.com. Check it out, C60EVO.com / Richard-Sarrett will tell you about all the great deals that are coming up. But there's nothing like ESS 60, this formulation that is, well, it's just a miracle in a bottle. And Patty Greer is with us once again, along with Chris Burrows, Chief Scientist, C60EVO.com. How are you both?
We are
Wonderful.
doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having us, Richard. Great to be back with you.
Great to have you. Patty, before I pushed record, you were showing off the new logo. What's going on? It's a new look for C60EVO.com.
Yeah, the products have evolved. The product line is so vast now, and we wanted to have an updated look. And I'm really proud of our new art. And what it is the buckyball in the middle, the molecule itself, 60 carbon atoms. And it's a blast of energy. To me, the logo now says exactly what the product is. And blast of energy.
Right. That's the molecule that won the Nobel Prize in chemistry back in the day, and that's where the journey began. The journey began there. So, and those are hold that bottle up again, if you
The
could.
giant one.
The giant
Takes
one.
2 hands.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
love having a 32-ounce bottle.
32 ounces.
32 ounce. It's like literally, look how big. It's the size of my head. And it is a massive bottle that would last most likely for me a year, 6 months to a year. But I kind of hold it as art. It's so big. I just kind of don't open it.
Chris is drinking on the job again there.
It's been a long day, so I it's always nice to kind of get a little boost of energy to keep me going. I got a couple more things to do here.
All right.
We can do coffee at bedtime. I need my Evo before noon. And I recommend everybody trying C60 Evo to do it before noon, preferably with food and water for best results. But Captain Chris can do it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and he does all three of our oils. Starts his morning with MCT coconut oil in our coffee. I do too. And he calls it a cup of coffee. He calls mine a hot tub of coffee because I do a very large thing of coffee.
I've got mine
I
here
also
too.
decorate it with this. Oh, we all have it. Now, have you done it in your coffee, Richard?
Yes, I do. I do it in my coffee.
And what do you think?
Oh, I love it. I love the flavor, first of all, because I love coconut. So I love the flavor, and yeah, it's just yet again another added boost. So I'm doing the coffee, and now I have about 3 mugs a day, but I limit myself to just the coconut, this C60 Evo, and the one mug of coffee, and then of course I take my C60 and Evo in the ESS 60 in the olive oil in the morning, unless I'm doing coast to coast AM. Then I'll take a shot around midnight as well, and that'll take me right through until like 6 a.m.
What a great thing for you to have. My best friend just asked me for a bottle. And I remember the last time I gave her a sample bottle, somebody knocked it over and we sat there going, oh God. And it was just pouring onto the floor.
Yikes.
And I didn't really care about the floor. I wanted my friend to have the Evo. It's a hard floor. So, we got it up, but she hasn't asked since. And all of a sudden yesterday I get a message and it was garbled up. I have to call her and say, what did you say? But I kept hearing a word here and there. She said, incredible clarity, lots of energy. I mean, it was almost like the keywords of an ad. And it was just so funny because it was garbled. And she said, I feel amazing. So it was kind of like you, but you are my inspiration at almost 60, that you always feel great. Nothing hurts. Wow.
No, no aches or pains. not a gray hair on my head. Now, if I grow my beard out, and I'm trying, for those wondering why the stubble, it's NHL hockey playoff time. It's just an old tradition. You don't shave during the playoffs.
How long does that go?
As long as the Leafs stay in the hunt for the Stanley Cup, which means I could be shaving this off in a few days because we haven't gone beyond the first round of the playoffs in nearly 20 years, and of course we haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1967. So hopefully,
I've got to tell you, Richard, I did share your story at least once. I mean, I think it's twice because the last time we got together, you were bragging about being out playing hockey with your yeah, like that's amazing, right? Hockey is I mean, even as a casual sport, is brutal on knees and ankles and hips and like the whole body, and there you are, running around an ice rink. That's pretty phenomenal.
yeah, I'm blessed. I mean, I have a pretty good, always have had a pretty good baseline health. So good genes, and thanks to my mother, who's a few weeks shy of 98 for that. But it's the added energy boost is what is so important to me, just because of my grueling hours, and then trying to keep up with my 16-year-old boys, which is no easy task.
You have tough hours, coast to coast radio all night long. I've always wondered how you guys do it. And, coffee, you just kind of jittery, but the Evo is a smooth groove. I want to mention our third flavor, which is the avocado oil. And I'm showing off big bottles just because I just got them and they're so beautiful. Chris does this in his salad. And I just read our new directions fold out thing that we're going to send now with every order. But it's really kind of nice to be able to have kind of breakfast, lunch, and energy boost with different, I want to say frequencies. That's a girl, energetic term, but literally it's the concentration levels. The olive oil holds 0.8 to 0.86 milligrams per milliliters, which is a scientific term for it's really potent. Okay, 0.8 to 0.85. The avocado is 0.6 to 0.65. So a little less, but still really potent. And the MCT coconut oil is only 0.35 milligrams per milliliters of C60 to oil. And so it's less than half as strong. For me, because I loved it in my morning coffee so much, I just took twice as much, to get the same buzz as you would from the olive oil. Some people like a teaspoon. I always go for a tablespoon, but I've had more intense needs. And I just take it on a spoon. Chris mixes it into food. People mix it into a smoothie. And for people that just don't like the taste of oil, we have capsules. And they are preferred by a lot of people because you can put them in a baggie and travel with them. Whereas a bottle of oil, sometimes you get stopped. You can take them in a briefcase in your glove box, but they are only one flavor, the strongest, 0.8, which is the organic extra virgin olive oil.
All right.
So,
good stuff. All right. We have some new products as well, don't we? Some pet,
we have
pet
duos.
products.
Chris, you want to explain the upgrade of the UTH 29?
Well, he was first talking about kind of pets, right? So we definitely have a version for dogs and a versions for cats. I like to point out that we sell a lot more of the dog version than the cat version. I can only suspect that 9 lives is enough. I don't for owners.
You can't catch the cats.
You got to check the updated stats. We have been selling cat products like surprising.
Maybe the word's gotten out, and
the word got out because you were, making fun of cats, so everybody showed up and bought it for their kitties. We do sets where you save 15% off on each product, and there's a dog lover set, which is a bottle for you, bottle for your dog. Cat lover set, bottle for you, bottle for your cat, and you save 15% off each product. I want to just read a couple of pet testimonials because I've been so impressed with the love letters. They're literally love letters to C60EVO to people. I mean, how much do you love your pet? Do you have a pet, Richard?
We have a rabbit, Gimli. He's a Netherlands dwarf bunny, and he's almost 8 years old. Great pet.
And your family loves him like crazy. You'd do anything to take good care of him.
I spent $900 on that bunny recently.
I'm
That's an
hearing that
affirmative.
story a lot. Have you given him Evo?
No, we haven't tried that. He's a finicky
Richard,
son of a gun. Yeah, how would I, what do I put that on his, he eats a lot of hay
just a
and
little,
lettuce.
just a little few drops on his food.
Okay, I guess I'll have to share from my bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not that many drops.
And
What
the
will we
debate
send
of
him?
the $900 rabbit.
Oh, I have so many friends that have spent a fortune on their pets lately.
Mm.
Oh God. Okay. So here's somebody, Pamela, and her cat Whitney. My 8-year-old cat was diagnosed in August with a muscle condition like MS. He could barely walk and was given antibiotics and steroids. He improved some, but still had lots of bad days with impaired muscle function. Then I ordered C60EVO for cats. Now he has increased appetite, improved muscle function, and is very happy and purring all the time. Thank you so much for giving me hope and restoring my cat's ability to function and live life to the fullest.
Wow.
That's a happy lady.
Yes.
I have to tell you, here's another one. I have been taking care of a stray cat who had parasites and mange and was given ivermectin from the Humane Society. Came back, it was very thin and old looking. I've been giving him C60EVO from my own stash, like you. And the old yellow haired shed from his skin, and now he has a beautiful gray shiny coat. I have even caught him running around and playing with my house cats outside, and it is a joy to behold.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Wow. And as we've talked about before, there's no placebo effect with animals. So
No.
that's, you know, you buy it for your cat or your dog, you watch them, and then you realize, wait a minute, this is not psychological. This is real.
It's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Let me give you
Ironic.
one dog one. Oh,
Go ahead.
Kristen. I started my 12-year-old dog, a black lab pit boxer, and 3 cats on Evo in January, on C60EVO in January 22. Now I'm trying to hurry. What sold me was their clinical test results for the study group of rats lived 90% longer than the control group. I really wish I'd taken pictures of my dog's face when I first started her off on it, as well as monthly pictures, because the gray on her black face actually began disappearing, like humans. And she has enough energy that she does that puppyish wide leg stance that says, let's play. My 14-year-old cat began running around and playing like a much younger cat as well. My other 2 younger cats are both domesticated ferals. Only one of them had the first round of shots. Feral cats tend to have fairly strong immune systems, but the C60EVO can only help. These 2 are less than 6 years old, so I look forward to having these companions with me for many years to come. Thank you, C60EVO. I love what it does for me too.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, happy people.
That's great news.
Yeah. And again, you know, not subject to the placebo effect, ironically, because they're not smart enough. We're so much smarter that we're
Sure we
subject to
are.
the placebo effect.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
I just mentioned
172
that
times. 172
cat
times more
formula,
powerful.
yep,
than vitamin
has
C.
salmon essence, and the dog formula has a little bacon essence. So it's the olive oil strong with a little pet essence that they love.
Oh, even vegans love bacon.
Bacon cats.
We were going to talk about some other new products, and this the U3 new
Yes.
about?
U3 New Duo comes in. It actually comes in this box. I actually have the box with us. It actually comes with some wrapping. I took that out. Just a little bit of history. Like I think the story is important. Patty approached me and was like, "Hey, we should probably do a face serum. I've been, you know, anything that's spilling off of the edge of this olive oil as I'm consuming it, I'm putting that on my face. I'm having some great results." And to be 100% transparent, I was not that interested in getting into the face serum industry. I was still clinging to being a happy-go-lucky carbon nanomaterial scientist. And so, yeah, we were like, hey, how can I support you? We'll make this face room. And then right about the time we launched it and it was getting just phenomenal results, the testimonials were just off the charts. Even my wife, she says she'll use it under her makeup and on top of her makeup, which I didn't realize was something that was pretty phenomenal. Around that time, my director of research came to me and he said, "Hey, there's this peptide. We call it UTH29 that has like 30 years of peer-reviewed published research showing improvements in hair and skin. You should probably look at it." So I go, kind of pulled up the research. Just knock your socks off. Peer-reviewed published research, the kind of research that you want to hang your hat on. And so we're like, okay, how do we bring this to market? It turns out that UTH29 is a water-soluble molecule. So it's in a water-soluble lotion. Obviously, our ESS60 is in an oil-soluble, whether it's MCT, avocado, or olive oil. So we could have kind of forced these together. There's chemical processes. You really just use an emulsifier. I don't like how emulsifiers sound. If you Google emulsifiers, I don't like what you read about emulsifiers. So we decided to keep them as two separate single-use products. So you've got your UTH29, and then you've got your ESS60 activator. And really the way it works, you take, say, 2 squirts of the UTH29, you do 2 drops of the ESS60 activator for each squirt. Sometimes that's a little hard to be precise with. Quickly, and then you just mix it, you activate it right there in your hand. I use this. I've actually got kind of a small wound on my foot. I've been putting this, it's been healing rapidly. Again, let's just throw out our typical FDA disclaimer. The FDA has not evaluated our product. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. I just use the word heal. We cannot claim that this does any healing. We just get phenomenal testimonials from this, again, molecule that has 30 years of skin and hair improvements in peer-reviewed published research. This is really the only thing I use. And, people give me compliments on a regular basis. And I put it on the back of my hands where I've got some kind of liver spots. And it's a phenomenal product. What's nice is, and we never really get anyone saying, hey, my skin's oily, so I have this concern, or my skin's dry, so I have this concern. Because you have the 2 parts and the activator is an oil-based, if you need to kind of lighten the oil, you can. You still just want to make sure you get some of that activator in it when you mix it in your hand. Or you could go a little bit heavier on the oil if you've got kind of dry skin. So it's turns out to be another phenomenal product with great
It's rose.
results.
The activator's a rose.
Yes.
His wife is so jealous of his skin because he does shows every day and he's always putting it on, and he gets carded now, which is really
I got carded at the beer store the other day, but they were looking for I was asking for a senior's discount, so they wanted.
It's the wrong kind of card.
That's right. I was fumbling through my wallet, and my old Blockbuster video card fell out, and the young fellow behind the counter said, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah. You got to save that card. You might need to Jimmy a lock or something at some point.
Oh my God. Who's got AOL still? I hardly remember to check my email, but I still have it.
Good for you.
Yay.
I want to ask you, you mentioned that longevity study that started off as a toxicity study in Paris. How many years ago was that? 2000
That was 2012, mid 2012 when that was published. So started 5 years prior, because it ended up being a 5-year study instead of, really the toxicity part of the study was done at 2.5 years, when the group of rats that were given the ESS60, really the C60EVO formula, had outlived all of the control group, those rats that were given water. At that point, it was done. They continued doing the animal husbandry for another 2.5 years, almost 3 years, to give us this, spectacular single longest longevity experimental result in history.
This is where the rats lived, 97%, something like that.
It was right at 90%. So typical
90%.
Wistar rat, 32 months. The C60EVO rats lived out to 62 months.
Right. So, and again, it started out as a toxicity study to make sure that if we're going to use carbon 60 for industrial applications, people are going to be handling it. Is it safe? Then it was no longer a toxicity study. It became a longevity study. The rats living almost twice their natural lifespan, the worst of rats in the study. Now, the lead researcher that was involved in that study is now getting ready to publish a peer-reviewed study on the toxicity study.
Yeah, and we're excited to be working with him on bringing that publication. What really happened is, the whole time we're looking at, all right, how do we go and do the right things, right? So there's really two questions when we brought this product to market. The first question is a moral question, and am I comfortable selling it? I take it, my wife takes it, everybody, on air right now takes it. Everybody on our team takes it. By the way, that's not a requirement to work on our team here. But yeah, I'm comfortable taking it and selling it. And then the next is you got to kind of dot your I's and cross your T's with the FDA and the FTC here in the States. And one of the things that we know is a good practice is to go through formalized toxicity studies, right? So we know it's already been in a toxicity study, and instead of being studied, the test subjects live 90% longer. So that's not really the concern. The concern is if you've got a regulatory body looking over your shoulder, are you doing the right things according to their programs? And we actually went in and invested in the research, and we actually used a lab out of Hungary. It's a certified lab, all the right kind of documentations, and we had the original research done. So there's really kind of 4 studies, and this is actually in the process of moving towards redoing that original rat study with some modifications. And so we had those results. It was probably about a month after we got those results. We know we wanted to publish them. We wanted to get this more information out there and really kind of brag that we're the only C60 that's really on the industrial side, but ESS 60 company that's out there and doing this traditional research that really should be done to, again, cross the T's, dot your I's. It was about a month after we got those results back. Of course, the spoiler alert, it's not toxic. Surprise. We saw a note that Dr. Fathi Musa, he was the lead researcher in that original University of Paris study, where he had basically come out and said, listen, it's been like 10 years since I published this. Nobody stepped up and done any regulatory sanctioned studies to really kind of, for once and for all, within the scientific community, right? So we understand that it's safe. And again, 90% extension of life. But within the scientific community, they're looking for people to step forward and do those studies. And lo and behold, we had already done them. We already had the results. So I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, why don't we co-publish this? This is what you're looking for. You're the one responsible for that original study. And we're just in the final stages. We're about to submit that to Science, the illustrious Science magazine, which is just, one of the top scientific journals on the planet. So really excited. There's one thing I mentioned that I really didn't necessarily want to be in the face serum business. And if you kind of take a step back, I kind of didn't want to be in the supplement industry. And one of the reasons is that supplement companies, in my opinion, a lot of them out there, and this is supported unfortunately by peer-reviewed published research, a lot of them, I don't think, do the right things by their customers and the right things even by their products. And I'm just extremely proud that we're doing the right things, right? If this is an I that needs to be dotted or a T that needs to be crossed, it comes at an expense, and doing the right thing is sometimes expensive and always the right thing. And I'm just very proud that we're doing that.
Right. And you're doing research. I mean, there are, as we've discussed, and you've talked a lot about this, Patty, as well. There are a lot of pretenders out there that are, I don't know, whipping this stuff up in their bathtub, and it's just not the same. But you have, the science behind you, and you're doing your own research. I mean, that just puts you like eons above everybody else.
Yeah. No, it is a differentiator, and like I said, very proud to do that. It's kind of not surprising. I mean, we are the oldest lab that's been manufacturing and distributing carbon nanomaterials that exists. We started back in 1991 manufacturing this molecule and continue to distribute it, and have really been, without us, we were actually we provided the original material in that original University of Paris study, where the lab is actually mentioned. Our lab is mentioned in that original study. We are the founders of this industry, and we've just been breaking supplement norms from the very beginning, and are going to continue to do that.
Treat yourself, your skin, and your entire energy field to C60EVO and ESS60. The organic edible oils, the face and lip serums, and the hair renewal as well for you, for your pets. Patty, so many different ways to buy and to save. Just tell us a few of those.
Quick rundown. When you look at the products, if you see them bundled together, they're called sets. You save 15% off if there's more than 2 items. We have sets with like 8 items, the mega packs, and you save 15%. If you sign up for a monthly subscription for 1 item or a pile of them, you'll save 20%. So if you bought a collection set and you signed up monthly, you're going to get 2 discounts there. And no matter what, you want to use Richard's code at checkout to get another 10% off whatever it is you buy. The best deal is if you buy a case, and we have sold a lot of cases this week. A case is 12 bottles, and they come beautifully wrapped. You can get 2 ounce, 4 ounce, 8 ounce, 16 ounce, and 32 ounce bottles.
Wow, look at those big boys.
Evo. And if you get a dozen, and you can share it with a friend or stash it, for who knows what's coming, you'll save 25%. And again, 25% is a great discount. Use Richard's code at checkout for another 10% off.
And that code is EVRS, EVRS. So it's C60EVO.com/Richard-Serret, EVRS at checkout. But of course, everything, the links are right in the description. Wow. This is always great to get together with you guys. I have so much fun. We should do this more often.
Well, you guys are an inspiration. You look young to me. Of course, you are a little younger than me.
Well,
but,
inspiration, Patty. I mean, you look just remarkable. You have such a glow.
Oh, for 90, thank you. I shouldn't do that. I should not do that to myself. But someday, we hope to get there. Knock, knock.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I glow when I talk about it. I glow when I'm sitting with a nice hot pack on my back. Life is good. Can't complain.
Wonderful. Chris, Patty, thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
A new Richard Serret's Strange Planet drops every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe at strangeplanetpodcast.com.